Once you've identified any significant joint position error, you can actually proceed with the same setup into treatment. A great place to start is essentially repeating the test, but with more visual input. So what we're going to do is have you start with the same position here. I'm just going to turn the laser on. Let's get that centered to the target. And what I want you to do is do the same thing we just did, but with your eyes open the whole time. Can you turn to the left as far as you can? And then bring it back to the center of the target. So essentially the patient is still using joint position sense, but now we're allowing the eyes to help. Go ahead and do that again now with your eyes closed. A way to progress that is to have the individual close their eyes, and now when they come back to center, allow them to see how they did. So go ahead and tell me when you think you've got it.
No.
Go ahead and open up. So you can see you were just off a little bit to the right, so let's try to adjust just a little bit for this next try. Go ahead and start in the middle, close your eyes, turn to the left as far as you can, and back. Let me know when you think you've got it.
No.
Good. So it's a little bit better, but just a little high. So let's try to adjust for this next trial. Go ahead and close your eyes. We'll turn to the left again.
No.
Go ahead and open up. Good, still just a little high. So that gives the patient multiple repetitions, an opportunity to see how they're doing and try to make corrections. You can do that for any movement direction. Some other considerations are to potentially adjust the total range of motion or speed. Say that was too difficult for the patient, I want you to do that again, but this time don't go quite as far, maybe go half as far as you just did. Go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to turn to the left about half as far, and then come back to the middle. And then let me know when you think you've got it.
No.
Go ahead and open up. That should make it easier for the patient. You can also coach them on their speed if you need them to move slower to be able to be more precise with their movement as well. One last consideration for treatment is their position. So for Cynthia, she's doing a good job with her posture, but you may try to encourage them to do more of a chin tuck. Let's try to get your chin in just a little bit. Good, and that's going to encourage more recruitment of the deep neck flexors while you're doing the intervention. And we can repeat the same thing. Go ahead and close your eyes. We'll turn to the left. And come back to where you feel is the center. Go ahead and open up. As you can see, when we added more recruitment of the deep neck flexors, that's a little foreign to her, so we may have to train that even more. Another way to progress this intervention is to try to actually move the patient farther away. That makes it so it's a lot harder to be able to land on the center of the target. We're going to do the same thing just at a new distance, okay? I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. Turn to the left as far as you can, and then come back and let me know when you think you're on the center of the target.
No.
Go ahead and open up. Good. Let's try that again. So you see you were high and right. Let's go ahead and close your eyes and try that trial one more time. As you can see, the farther distance makes it a lot more difficult to be able to be precise for that center.
No.
Go ahead and open up. Good job. Another way to progress treatment is to have the patient standing instead of seated. This is again why it's easy and convenient to be able to adjust the target itself. Ideally, you have the target at about eye level. Can you let me know when that's about eye level for you?
Right there.
Great. So now we can repeat the same thing we did before in seated, just with the individual standing. So what I want you to do is start off right in the center of the target. We're going to do just a left rotation. So go ahead and, with your eyes closed, rotate to the left here for me, and come back to where you feel like the center of the target is.
No.
And open up. Let's go ahead and adjust back to the middle. Close your eyes and try again. Now with the patient standing, we're adding a lot more to the actual intervention. There's more integration of sensory motor function through the entire body rather than just an isolation of joint position sense of the cervical spine.
No.
Go ahead and open up. We'll adjust back to the middle. We can progress treatment also by providing more stimulus to the sensory motor system. This can be done easily with something like a balance pad. What we're going to do is the same treatment where we're going to have you close your eyes and move your head and come back to where you feel the center is, okay? I'm going to go ahead and turn our laser on. Let's go ahead and close your eyes. Turn to the left as far as you comfortably can, and then come back and tell me when you feel like you're on the center. open up. Get back on the center, and we'll try again. This is a really important moment where you need to know your patient and their comfort level and how much guarding you need to be able to provide.
No.
Good, open up. If you wanted to make this harder, what you could have to do is put the patient's feet closer together. Can you put your feet closer together here? Let's go ahead and repeat that.
No.
And open up. Good. Depending on how your patient does, you can choose to regress that, put the feet farther apart, or even make it harder with a tandem stance, or even something like a wobble board. After you've done an assessment of joint position error and have identified a significant finding, you can move into treatment with the actual target that we started with, and you can also progress to the laser target cross that we have here. There's a few different ways to use this device. We're going to start with Cynthia standing. If you want to start simpler, you can have the individual start seated. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the laser, and what I want you to do is to get that centered in the target here. I want you to start just by tracing. And by tracing, you're just going to go ahead and follow out to the left side here, and then come back to the center, and then just move on each subsequent line that you see. So we're going to go up and left, and come back. Try to stay as close to that line as you can without going off of the purple. This is a great way to train more precision and accuracy when an individual moves with the cervical spine. And we'll just go the whole way through this like a clock. Every time the individual comes back, they should come back to the center of the target. As you're doing this, make sure you're cueing your individual that you're trying to treat. It can be a temptation to want to fall into more protractions, so try to make sure you keep your chin tucked the whole time. Great. We'll go ahead and pause there. Another thing you can do is what's called jump accommodations, where you're using the eyes and the neck together. Jump accommodations are where you're going to have the individual move their eyes first to where you want them to go, and then follow with the laser. So Cynthia, what I want you to do is to look over here to the edge of this with your eyes, and then bring the laser to match that. And then move your eyes here next, and then bring the laser to match that. We're going to do that again across all of the paths that we used. After you've done your assessment of joint position error and you have identified any significant findings, another way to treat and to progress that treatment is to use the laser target maze. With this particular device, we're going to have our patient try to work through the entire maze with the laser that they're wearing. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on here for you. What I'm going to have you do is start the laser right at the front of the maze here. And I want you to very slowly and controlled to try to go through this maze. Your goal is to try to stay on the thinnest line as best you can, but definitely try not to go beyond the purple boundaries of the maze. Especially when you're doing an intervention that gets more dynamic like this, you want to try to monitor the patient and make sure they're doing as best they can to maintain a chin tuck and stay in good position. Working through the maze allows the patient to be able to use visual input in conjunction with joint position sense of the cervical spine. These work together in addition to sensory motor control when they're standing. As you can see, some of the different turns are smaller, which allows them to work on more fine movements of the cervical spine compared to some of the larger movements. So when using the laser target maze, you can consider different progressions and regressions. A simple regression is just to have the patient seated, or even to regress to the target crossed or even the original target. But for progression, we can try to have the patient balanced or be on an unstable surface. So what I want you to do, Cynthia, we're going to go to the start of the target here, or the start of the maze, and I want you to try to, again, work your way through this, staying as close to that center line as you can without going outside of the purple lines. Adding the balance pad adds more challenge to sensory motor function and makes it a little bit harder to be more targeted with these smaller movements. Obviously, if the patient had a really hard time staying between the purple lines on the actual maze, we may choose to regress this. But if she's doing really well with this particular intervention, we can make it even harder. We can have her put her feet closer together, we can have her go to tandem stance, or even consider using a more unstable surface.